What up, everyone? Time to finally start the boxes of November. So, starting this month awfully late, but that's because of the month of October. October's boxes didn't finish getting here till halfway through November. This box, the box we're reviewing today, the Sci-Fi block, came before the last box of October. So the months are kind of crossing over and it's getting very confusing. So I may have to cancel some boxes to get things in line. But anyway, we have a new box here, not just new to the channel, but new to everyone. The Sci-Fi block. So a much anticipated block from the Nerd Block Company. So let's take a look at this box and see what we got. So obviously this is sci-fi themed, as you can tell by the title. So, first off, we got a shirt. And this is a Back to the Future reference. It says Biff's Pitbull, and obviously that is a reference to Biff from Back to the Future. You have the option of one of two different shirts. I'll show you on the card. I don't know how well you can see it. But you had the option of one of those two shirts on there. So that's the one I got. I actually kind of like the other one better, but no big deal. The shirt's okay. The design on it's like nothing really special. The fit on it's okay. So there's a lot of things about the shirt that are just okay. So I think everyone would get the reference. Anyone who's seen that movie would obviously get the Biff reference and the hoverboard reference. So it's somewhat cool, but you know, I wasn't super impressed by it. The design is just kind of simple, and it's just like a basic logo, so nothing special, but it's not bad by any means. So I'm going to give this shirt like a 6 out of 10. I think that's fair. I kind of like the other design a little bit better, but for this one, I think 6 out of 10. Next, we got a pop figure. No surprise at all, I got C-3PO. So you could have gotten one of like, I don't know how many there were, like 5 I think. Yeah, it showed 5 options on there, but you basically got a random pop figure from the new Star Wars series. And that's fine, but you know, I'm never a fan of pop figures when it's just like a random generic one. I think the only time they should put pop figures in is when there's something special about them, like the oversized one, the 6-inch ones, or an exclusive one, or an alternate paint job. When it's just like the regular ones like this, like I've been seeing these everywhere. I honestly think Funko made probably too many of these, and they're having like overstock of a lot of them because these are just everywhere. They're flooded all over the market. So it's still a cool pop figure, and I like the Star Wars ones because they all come on a little base, so that's kind of cool, and it makes him easy to stand. And you know, he's a cool figure, nothing wrong with him at all, so I definitely like it, but there's just nothing special about it. So it's still cool though. I like it. Alright, next we got some Mad Libs. So we got this in, I think it was Nerd Block last month. We got like the Bob's Burgers Mad Libs or something like that. Something along those lines, but this is just filler, Star Wars Mad Libs. Nothing more to say about that, they're Mad Libs. Next, we got a Koozie. So this is a Star Wars Koozie from the new movie. And again, you had like 4 different options of what you could get as far as a Koozie. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I obviously drink beer quite frequently on the channel, so that works for me. And I'll keep my beer cold. If I can get it in there, damn it. Get in there, you bitch. There we go. Works quite nicely. Oh, very welcome. I like it. Moving on. Next, we got a Pocket Pop. So this is from Doctor Who, and it is the 12th Doctor. You know, something I thought was funny, like my camera's focusing on here. Is it just me, or is that not the correct way to spell 12th? Is it spelled differently, or am I just totally retarded? But I've never spelled 12th with an F. But maybe that's just something I'm not getting there. Or maybe I've just been spelling it wrong my whole life and I'm a total idiot. Either way, we got a Pocket Pop, and I always like these better than the regular pop figures just because of their size. I kind of like smaller figures, easier to display, take up less space. And as far as quality goes, the Pocket Pop figures are about as high in quality as the regular ones, because the regular size ones always have really crappy paint jobs and pretty terrible sculpts most of the time, so they're about the same in quality, so I always prefer the smaller ones. I'm not super familiar with Doctor Who. It's just one of the many shows I haven't checked out yet. I've heard great things about it, but, you know, I'm sure it's a cool show, and this seems like a cool figure. So, moving on to our last item. This one was quite special. So we got an autograph, which we haven't gotten in a long time. We used to get them from Nerd Block quite frequently. We've got them before, and this is of, what's the name? Claudia Wells. So you'll remember her from Back to the Future. She was Marty McFly's girlfriend. So that's kind of cool. I think that's really awesome. I think it's special when they put things like this in. I remember one month we got one from Willow. You either got like Warwick Davis or Val Kilmer or something like that. And yeah, I think that's really awesome when they put signatures in there. Because that just makes it personal. Like, it makes that box special because it's something you're only getting in that box. It's something you can't get elsewhere. So this is obviously exclusive, and it's just something really cool. So I really appreciate that. You know, she's not the most, like, popular character. She's mostly just known for that one movie, or at least here in this card she is. So it's not like an amazing signature that like you're gonna die over, but it's still really cool. Like, everyone recognizes her and recognizes the character, so I think this is really awesome, and I think that makes the box like really special. So I think that was good for the first box. So that was all the items. Not a ton of items in here, but let's go back through the box. We'll talk about some value and give it a rating. First, the shirt. Like I said, 6 out of 10. Nothing amazing about it. It'll get the standard $12 to $15 value. That works. Then, the pop figure. So this is very generic at this point, very, very common. You can get this pretty much anywhere. Like Hot Topic, Target, pretty sure you can get it at like Walmart. So, very, very common to sum up. Like, you can literally pick it up anywhere. So the value on this is going to be $10 at the most. I'm sure you could actually find it online a little bit cheaper, or maybe in certain stores for like 8 or 9. Like, my local comic shop sells them for $8. But I'll give it a standard $10 value, just to be fair. So there's that. Then, the Koozie being put to good use. Koozies in general, usually around like $5 to $7, like maybe 6 or 7, something like that. Because this is branded, it is from Star Wars, and it is the new movie, which, you know, it doesn't really increase the value much, but, you know, it is something. Like, so the fact that it's branded and it actually is like decent quality, it would probably be around $6 or $7, like give or take a buck or two. So around that general amount. Then the Pocket Pop. These are $5. You can see these vary in price, but this is not rare at all. This is a very common one. And I'm sure places charge more than that, but they should only be charging $5 because that's like the market retail. Some people mark it up in comic shops, but you should never pay more than $5 for a common one. So this is going to be valued right at $5. Then, the Mad Libs. This is $4, and the only reason I give it that value is because it says on there. So for books, I usually give it whatever price is posted on there. I'm sure you could find this really cheap at like a dollar store or something like that. But, you know, it says $4, so to be fair, I'm going to give it the value it has on there, because if you were going to buy it in a store at full price, you would have to pay $4. So it gets that. Then the last part, the autograph. So this is very difficult to put a value on. First of all, it's cool that they put a little certificate of authenticity in there. I don't know if you saw it before. It's just a little card. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, just little stuff like that that make it seem nice. So autographs are kind of a funny thing to put value on, because things like this, they're kind of only worth what someone's willing to pay for it, because autographs in general are free. That's what you usually do. People wait in very long lines to get someone's autograph, and it's usually free. It's very rare that people charge for it, and if they do, it's usually not like a high amount. So whenever celebrities and things sign things, it's very common that they do it for free. So most signatures are free, so that makes it hard to put a value on it. But I've seen similar signatures go like this, and I've seen some online. They're being listed for like $10 to $12. So I'm going to give this a $10 to $12 value, and I think that's fair. Like I said, she's not like a crazy famous person where people would be dying to get her signature, but it's something that's still cool to have, to the point where I think someone might actually want to buy it because if they were a big fan of the movie, and it is authentic, so it is kind of cool. But it doesn't get an extremely high value, so I think a $10 to $12 value is fair on that. But again, don't quote me on that too specifically, because it's very hard to put value on these things, because it's usually worth sentimental value more than it is like dollar value. But I think it'd be fair to put it at 10 to 12, but that's obviously debatable. So, that with all those numbers, the total that brings our total on the low end of 47 and on the high end of 53. So no surprise at all, and I'm glad they're keeping up with it. Basically, Nerd Block, the whole company, you pay $30 and you get $50. Like, it's almost always exactly that amount, which is pretty surprising that they're always so spot on all the time. But that's pretty much what you'd expect from them. So starting this month, there's going to be a few changes going on here. First of all, I'm going to go to like a stricter grading system, because for the past few months, I've had like the best boxes and they've all been getting around the same score. So I'm going to get a little stricter as time goes on, as these companies are getting better, and do a harsher grading system, because it was too confusing when things are all getting the same score. Because when I started out this channel, boxes were terrible. They were really bad, so they were all over the place. But now they're all getting better, and especially ones from like Nerd Block and Loot Crate, they're all really good. So I think I need to grade a little stricter to kind of spread out the numbers a little bit more. So in general, this box, I think, you know, I was not too impressed by it. I'm not a huge Sci-Fi fan, but I definitely like it. But you know, I'm kind of when I heard the Sci-Fi theme, I kind of thought it would be broader, because, you know, I'm still waiting for one of the big companies to do like a superhero block. Like, when I heard about comic block, I thought it was going to be comic book characters, but it was just comics. And when I heard Sci-Fi, I thought, well, that'll include comic book characters, because all those movies are technically sci-fi movies, but it doesn't. This sticks to more like hardcore sci-fi, like old school movies and current TV shows. So that's where it's like, well, it's a little bit more of a limited market, and I'm not up to date with a lot of sci-fi stuff. Like, I haven't watched a lot of the shows and things like that, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this box around because of that. And I wasn't super impressed by it, because most of the things in here were very, very generic. The autograph was cool. That's something you're not getting anywhere else, but that's probably the only thing I really liked in the box. Everything else was just very common. And considering there was so much hype behind it, I kind of thought they were going to like really blow us away with their first block. I thought they were really going to come out swinging with this first one and put some awesome stuff in there, but they kind of didn't. They got the signature, but everything else, they just kind of skated by and just kind of put stuff in there. It was sci-fi themed, so they didn't do anything wrong per se, but you know, it just wasn't that great. I'm very unimpressed by it. So we'll see what happens next month with it, if they kind of skate by again or if they start picking up momentum. But the Nerd Block company has a lot of power and leeway, so I was kind of assuming that they would put a lot of effort into it, but they didn't really do that. So I'll keep this around for a little while to get a good judgment on it and then decide if I'll keep it or not. But all that being said, I'm just going to give this a 6 out of 10. You got your money's worth, so there's no problem there. If anyone's a hardcore sci-fi fan, I think you'll definitely like it. But things in here were just too common, and I don't think most people would be crazy about it because of that. The only thing that was great about it, again, was the signature. But if you were really crazy about it, you could just go get it online. So, for that reason, I think a 6 out of 10 is well deserved, and this is going to be part of the stricter grading system. Still a good box. I think people would like it, but I kind of hope they stick to more broader themes and not too much of the current sci-fi stuff, but that's just my personal thing. Like, with most of the boxes I get, I kind of like the old school stuff, like the big time things, more than like the current, present genres and things like that. If that made any sense. That sounded weird. But anyway, this has been Sci-Fi Block. This is the first one out there, so I wanted to do this video first to get my review out there on this. Things to come on the channel. We're going to be doing some new things. I'm going to be trying out some new boxes and some new styles of things. So we'll see how you guys like that and just try some new stuff. So anyway, this has been Sci-Fi Block. 6 out of 10 on the box, 6 out of 10 on the shirt. Let me know what you guys thought about it and who else got it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Love you all. Peace.